Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Egan, of course, Brandon Wenzel. Come back at you. Another offering. Off my sampler platter. Yes, indeed, folks. Sampler V series of videos I've been doing for a little while now. Go over there, try out food and drink items. I eat stuff, I drink stuff, then, folks, I'm going to talk about the stuff. I'm going to let you know all that you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff that time I'm doing this, folks, I'm not going to lie. I really hope that I like this because we got a big boy this time. But we'll get to that. Folks, it's super simple format. I'm going to go over there. I'm going to try out food and or drink items for you. Whilst I'm doing so, I'm yammer on about it for a bit. Whilst I'm doing all that, I'm inside my truck. And whilst I'm doing all that, I'm wearing a super cool shirt. And folks, when I wear super cool shirts, I always like to highlight the super cool shirt. What super cool shirt am I wearing for you today, folks? What happens to be my Consume the Divide shirt, which is a very neat shirt. I like it. It's very simple and just very to the point. What is Consume the Divide, though? Consume the Divide is a local alternative metal band out of Illinois that I think are fantastic. I really, really like these guys. I got into them a few years ago. Funny thing was, I'd actually run into them some years prior. They were opening up a show, and I took note of them at the time, but, I just wasn't familiar with them. I wasn't, as into the local scene as I am now. And then it just kind of worked out where, eventually I started running into them again, and by that point, I was a little bit more familiar with the local scene. And, they're just really good dudes. I really like the fucking energy they put into their shows, and just the fact, they've been doing it for a really long time now, and they're really fucking good at it. So, I've actually got some videos of their performances that I've attended over the years. They're on the channel, in case maybe you want to check them out. If nothing else, I'd be more than happy to kind of point you in the right direction as far as their music goes, because I think they're a really incredible band. But anyway, what am I trying for you today, folks? What are we doing here? Why is it a big boy? Well, folks, it's a big boy because they don't sell this shit in 12-packs, as far as I can tell. I've never run into it. So I just had to go over there and buy a full-on 2-liter of boom! It's Dr. Thunder. Oh, excite your taste buds. Yeah. So, what is Dr. Thunder? Well, it is Walmart brand Dr. Pepper. In fact, I'm surprised that it doesn't come under the Great Value brand, because that's typically the brand that, Walmart does for, their sort of general rip-off stuff that they do. Unless, and it is possible, maybe Dr. Thunder isn't exclusive to Walmart. I've never seen it anywhere else, so if it's not exclusive to Walmart, I apologize, but that's the only place I've ever seen it. It's Dr. Thunder. So I started going over there and doing a little series of videos where I've been trying out these, in-house brand sodas, sort of comparing and contrasting, the flavor versus the price versus, the actual, the name brand stuff. And as I'm a big fan of Dr. Pepper, I always love doing, the sort of Dr. Pepper knockoffs. And I've been wanting to do this one, but again, I just couldn't find it in, can format or 12-pack or anything. So finally, I just caved and bought a damn 2-liter. So, let's get a thing for the thing, folks. It's so large. It looks like this. Let's give it a go. I mean, I think at worst, it'll be fine. I might not love it, but I don't think I'm going to hate it. Pretty much anything you build off of Dr. Pepper is going to be at least pretty good. Alright. It smells like weak Dr. Pepper. Let's give it a go. That's exactly what it is. Weak-ass Dr. Pepper. It is... It tastes like the beginning of what Dr. Pepper tastes like. That's the best way I can put it. It's not a bad taste at all. Because, again, it's building off what Dr. Pepper already does. But where it runs into problems is after that initial flavor, that's it. There's no dimension to it. It's just one straight flavor. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's fine. But it doesn't... There's no dimension to it. There's no oomph to it. There's no bite to it. this is kind of the thing, and it's part of the reason why I started doing these videos, aside from the fact that I'm just trying to be a little bit thriftier with my funds. Let's get that YouTube money. But no, part of the reason why I've been trying these things out is because, like, I am genuinely interested, because it's like, a lot of times, if you're going over there, if you're just buying up some non-name brand stuff, it just is what it is. You're just doing it for whatever reason. Maybe you got a party, or maybe you're out at a friend's house or something. You're probably not thinking too much about the actual compare and contrast. And that's kind of what I wanted to do. And for me personally, what I found in many of these instances, though not all, is that basically they just go over there and take the loosest interpretation of whatever it is they're trying to knock off, and then that's the only thing that they give you. If they're ripping off Coke, well, they're going to give you a basic cola flavor. If you're ripping off Sprite, they're going to give you a basic lemon lime flavor, But they don't really put the soul into it, that really makes it a special thing. And that's definitely the case with Dr. Thunder here. It's not bad, but it really is just extremely one-dimensional. It's fine, but it doesn't have any of that, like, nice sort of kind of spiced flavor. Again, that oomph, that really gives it, something, takes it into that next gear. Yeah, it never gets out of that first gear. It's cruising along just fine. Like, it doesn't taste bad or anything. There's no chemical taste or anything. I've had very bad cheap sodas in my time that genuinely were pretty awful. This isn't one of them. It's perfectly fine. It is not one of the better knockoff sodas that I've had, though. I will say that right now. But it's perfectly serviceable. And I think that really is that's what these drinks are usually for. They're not trying to replace the things they're knocking off. They understand that they don't operate in that same wheelhouse. They're not operating on that same level. They're an alternative because they're cheap. And that's what they need to be. With all that said, 2 questions have to be asked. Would I get it again? Would I recommend it? No and sure. For me personally, Dr. Pepper is one of those sodas that I have a great deal of fondness for. I have ever since I was a kid. I have nice core memories tied back to some Dr. Pepper moments, so it's one that's a little bit special for me. For me, when it comes to, like, the knockoff stuff, I think it's perfectly fine. It does what it needs to do. I'm just going to get a real Dr. Pepper. It's one of those ones where I am willing to pay a little bit more to get the full experience. That's just me. If I'm going to go over there and actively buy a knockoff version of Dr. Pepper, it really would need to be close to 1-to-1 for it to be worth it for me. So it's always going to be an uphill battle for my personal taste. If I'm recommending it, though, sure, because if all you want is what this is, which is just a knockoff Dr. Pepper that's going to cost you a little bit less than, the real deal, it does that. It has the flavor. It just doesn't have, it doesn't have the full impact, but the flavor's there. It doesn't taste bad. There's nothing to actively dislike about it. And if you've never had the real Dr. Pepper, then, it doesn't even matter to you. But, and this is kind of part of the other thing that comes into play again, flavor versus value. If I'm paying a little bit less, but I'm losing out on flavor, is it worth it? And I would still say in this instance, sure. Again, I do think Dr. Pepper, I think there are a lot of people out there like me with Dr. Pepper who have that personal attachment to it. For those folks, I probably wouldn't go with this. Again, it's not bad, but it's not giving you that full experience. Conversely, to basically anybody else who is just very casual about it, but, they just want the thing and, don't want to pay as much as the name brand stuff, it works perfectly fine. And that's why it's like, sure, go ahead. It's not going to be your favorite soda. Dr. Pepper is definitely way better, and there are better knockoffs too, but this one works for what it needs to do. But anyway, 5 things before I get out of here. Have yourself a great rest of your day, spectacular rest of your week, monumental rest of your month, stupendous rest of your year, folks. Go over there, have yourselves a truly proper Dr. Pepper-tastic rest of your life. Or Mr. Pibb. Mr. Pibb's pretty good, too. Not quite as good as Dr. Pepper, but it's got its own personality. Final two things. Number one, try to bring some positivity into the world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated. But what do you do if you... Oh, I'm gassy. This is my third review in a row, and they've all been drinks so far. I got prebiotic soda inside me. Where was I going with that, folks? Final two things. I lost my... Final two things, folks. Number one, try not to be an asshole. Folks, not always the easiest thing in the world to not be an asshole. Trust me. I know it. I live it. I'm out there every day with you in it. Life can be stressful and frustrating and just bullshit sometimes, folks. And when we find ourselves in situations where we have to deal with said bullshit, it's important we go over there, whenever possible, take a step back, try to mitigate the level of assholishness in our lives, hopefully do better for ourselves and for those around us. Very final thing, folks, do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. Folks, when it comes to like the knockoff soda stuff, where do you fall on it? You know, is it something that you do occasionally? Do you never do it? Is it something you do out of necessity? Or is it something you just do because, you know, maybe it just works better for you? At the end of the day, as much as I might go over there and kind of, you know, crap on some of these knockoff sodas a little bit, you know, like, they're usually not bad products, and there's no reason why people shouldn't enjoy them if that's the case, you know? Like, one thing don't ever... I say this as somebody who, throughout the course of my life, you know, I've been somebody who has been on the somewhat lower end of the financial spectrum a good many times in my life. And, you know, I certainly have had to go over there and, you know, you got to find your areas where you can go over there and, you know, save a buck. And I don't think that should be looked at, you know, shamefully or anything like that. You know, if you go over there, you got some Dr. Thunder in your fridge, hey, fuck it, man. Do what you need to do and, you know, just enjoy it. But anyway, bye.